Chair and colleagues and our invited guest, Lokwang Phillips Ilukol, Member of Parliament for the West, and a member of the committee. You're welcome.
Thank you, Chair. I'm called Isaac Modoi. I represent the people of Lutseshe constituency. I'm a member of this committee.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm Hope Grania Nakazwe, woman member of Parliament, Morende District, a member of this committee.
Madam Chairperson, I am Kabusu Moses, member of Parliament for Chamuswa in Kalangala.
Madam Chair, and our guest Seungu Joseph Gonzaga, MP Kalong County West member.
My name is Gorethi Namuga. I represent the people of Magola County. The deputy chair of this committee, the substantive chair, is away, and I will chair this session. Staff.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Max Komakech, the clerk to the committee.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Salongo Kunya Willie, Assistant Manager Parliamentary Liaison, Office of the Water General, Tachito Park. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Kebuchu, Auditor, Office of the Water General.
Thank you, Chair. Wycliffe Banura is my name. I'm an auditor.
Good afternoon, everyone. Damalika Kumba, Senior Auditor.
Thank you, Chair. Listen Ismail, Budget Office.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Edison Karamaji, the Committee Economist.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. Justine Kalende, Senior Research Officer.
Good afternoon, Chair. Rahma Bigabwa, Legal Counsel.
Good afternoon, Chairs, members. Only Stephen, CID, attached to this committee.
The accounting officer and your team.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, members and staff of the Parliament. My name is Edith Mwangi, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of East African Community Affairs, and I will request my team to introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, Chair and members. My name is Kaima Godfrey, Under Secretary at the Ministry of East African Community Affairs. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and honorable members. My name is Ali Iwumbwe. I'm the Principal Economist.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Simba Ane, the Principal Accountant, Ministry of East African Community Affairs.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I am Senf Kamathias, the Principal Human Resource Officer of the Ministry.
Good afternoon, Chair. My name is Andrew Musine. I'm the Commissioner of Affairs in the Ministry.
Good afternoon, Chair. I'm Leo Tojara, Commissioner for Economic Affairs in the Ministry of ESC.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of Parliament. Edward Signa is my name, Commissioner of Social Affairs, Ministry responsible for youth affairs.
Good afternoon, Chair, honorable members. My name is Patricia Katushabe. I'm Assistant Secretary, Ministry of East African Community Affairs.
Good afternoon, Chair and honorable members. I am Namanya Naboth, Commissioner for Production and Infrastructure.
Good afternoon, Chair and honorable members. Mhang Sobadia is my name. I'm a Senior Procurement Officer. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and honorable members. I'm Fred Mwete, a Principal Assistant Secretary, Ministry of East African Community.
Thank you, Chair and honorable members. I'm Biaruhanga Kaituvia Milton, Senior Internal Auditor, Ministry of East African Community Affairs.
Honorable colleagues, we are beyond a schedule for like 30 minutes, but sorry, we are behind. But how I wish we can have at least 2 hours with Miyaka. That will depend on how you respond to these queries. I would just want to remind you that you are a very important ministry. Others are important also, but for you, when it comes to the economic rights of Ugandans in regard to access of markets within the East African community and free movement, we look upon you in ensuring that Ugandans can have access, quality, and time when it comes to that. Honorable colleagues, we appreciate the mandate of this ministry, which is to coordinate and steer regional integration in ensuring that national benefits from the East African Treaty are realized, and also its your core function includes implementing the customs union, common market, and monetary union, while fostering political federation to enhance economic, social, and cultural cooperation. Arising out of that, some 5 minutes to tell us about Miyaka and others that you do within that ministry.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Chairperson, members, and colleagues. Just to say that what the Chair has said, that's the mandate of the ministry. We coordinate matters of ES integration in Uganda. And we also ensure that we inform the Ugandans about the integration agenda and the interventions that we normally agree upon at the regional level. These have to go down to the ministries, departments, and agencies and the people of Uganda to know exactly what is it that the leaders, the council, summit, and the different bodies are deciding on the areas of economic, political, social, and this information is passed over to the Ugandans. Right now, I think the biggest challenge that we are having right now is the payment, the non-payment of subscription, which actually, that is the source of the money, the revenue that the ESC secretary gets, and the institutions, which enables them to implement the East African Development Plan, East African Community Development Plan. So that is the biggest challenge that we are having. Some of the 4 partner states which just entered not long ago, Republic of Democratic Republic of Congo, Somalia, Burundi, and South Sudan, they are slow in paying. So we have a big bill, and because of that, the organs and institutions of the ESC are crawling. They don't have sufficient resources to implement what is provided for in the budget. I think that's what I just want to say at the moment.
Yes, Honorable Shaba.
Thank you very much, Chair. I like the accounting officer. She has started with challenges, yet my major interest was her highlighting the achievements of the ministry in terms of the integration. If I went outside and I asked Ugandans out there on the streets whether they know about any achievements or any benefits from the East African community, through a research you may find that very many don't know. So this platform would be very, very sufficient for you to at least communicate those key integration achievements and for the benefit of the people of Uganda. To the best of my knowledge, Madam Chair, integration was left only to Uganda. It is only Uganda that sings integration. But the rest of the countries are less committed, not only in terms of paying commitment fees, but in so many aspects. So maybe the accounting officer can help us understand which are the inroads that we have achieved for the people of Uganda, and how can they be proud that they are part of East Africa.
Yes, Honorable Elijah.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Taking up from where the accounting officer stated about the challenge of the non-paying members, I've just been recently reading about the same. What happens to a non-paying member when it's time for that country to take up the position of the Secretary General? Because I'm told, according to the rota, it's supposed to be South Sudan. Now they are behind schedule in paying subscription. Are we still going ahead with them taking the position, or is going to be like the way I'm reading? Because I think after that Uganda was going to be like, oh, we are going to jump the queue because they are not paying, and Uganda provides the position of the Secretary General. That's one. Two, how far are we in terms of the monetary union, single currency? Well, then the third one is the challenges. We visited the roofings, I think November last year, roofings, which supplies most of our building materials to even the neighboring countries, and they had a challenge, they say, for 6-7 months because of the challenge between Naivasha and I think Tororo. There was a breakdown, so their raw material, which was supposed to be coming from there to Namave, their plant here, was stalling, and they were laying off, and they were appealing that, please, can you please help us raise these matters with the ministries, with the people concerned, such that as we are expanding now, we are now stuck for these 7 or so months. I don't know how you can be of help to them. I've not checked on them this year to see whether that problem has been sorted, because it was becoming a challenge, both for affecting the workers here, but also the market. Thank you. For now, can start with that.
Yes, Accounting Officer.
Thank you, Chairperson. On the first issue of achievements, we know that religious integration, the agenda, concentrates on ensuring that the partner states trade, now that they do economically integrate, they politically integrate, they socially integrate. And then when we look at what is going on right now, we really can't say that nothing is happening, that all other members are not participating, because trade is going on. We have figures, and I will be asking my commissioner to bring the figures. We have figures that shows that Uganda is trading with the other partner states, in spite of some hindrances and non-tariff barriers that we all encounter. They also encounter from us, we also encounter from them. But the first thing is that we are trading. The second thing is that we are sorting out issues as a team. When something arises, if you recall what is going on in DRC, between DRC and M23 and Rwanda, the heads of state sit together and sort out these things, which is very critical. I do recall the Mijingo issue when it took place, and the parliamentarians in Kenya raised and said, no. These people have attacked us, we must go and attack. It was just because at that time we were having a summit, and by then President Kibaki was the president, and we said, President Kibaki, no, I cannot attack Uganda. We have a framework here, and the rest of you two people talk. And they talked, and they said we should sort this out without bringing out arms. So we cannot underestimate the importance of integration, because by sitting together, we achieve a lot business-wise, we achieve a lot socially, we achieve a lot politically. We take decisions together because we agree that we should actually, under the customs union, we have one law that actually controls all of us on how we handle trade within the region. In terms of the same customs union, any goods that are coming outside from other partner states, outside the East African community, we charge the same tariff. And that is very important, because if we didn't, it would mean that Kenya would get its goods here and then resell them in the country at a different rate. But in terms of tariffs for the goods that we produce locally here, we removed the taxes. So there is a lot that is going on, and we know that because of the limited resources, we may not be reaching out as far as we should to tell people how they can benefit, to tell people that you can trade with these other countries, to let them know what goods are required where. But a lot is going on. On the issue of non-payment, which we talked about, and the appointment of the Secretary General, the appointment of the Secretary General is the prerogative of the Summit of Heads of State. We are going to have a meeting on 7th March. They will be taking a decision. If that matter comes out and somebody raises it, then we shall know which country is producing what? A Secretary General. Right now, from what was determined, when we have membership, what they normally agree on is who is going to be the next chair. And that the person who is coming as next is normally made to be the rapporteur. So we normally get to know who is becoming as the chair. For the Secretary General, we have a rotational basis. And that rotational basis right now, RSS is supposed to be the next coming on. But as you said, they are not paying. If the presidents raise that and agree, the next will be Uganda, because we are in that line, in that rotational basis, we come next. But it's a prerogative of the member, the heads of state. Now, I cannot say that Uganda will become the next, because they will take a decision on that. In terms of the East African Monetary Union, a lot of the laws are in place. In fact, we have the laws that are going to be assented to in this summit. A law that establishes the institutions, the Statistical Bureau, and the Compliance and Surveillance Institute. So we are moving. There's a lot of integration that is happening as far as the banks, the work that the banks do. They are working together. We, however, have delayed in putting in place what we call the IAMI, the ESC Monetary Institute, which is a precursor to the Central Bank of East Africa. The decision has to be taken on who hosts it, headquarters. That's what has delayed. Four countries bidded, including Uganda. A final decision will be taken. But for the time being, we are moving on all the rest of things, apart from now the putting in place in the institute.
Normally, I see our head of state when he's giving his lectures. He can take us
when he's giving his what?
Lectures. He can even decide to take us to before 1900. That by 1879, we had this. And now, as we talk, we have this. I don't know whether your ministry cannot go ahead to prepare a well-prepared document, actually, for the citizens to understand what they actually raised. Those achievements, because you've spoken generally, and we cannot attach any figures. Because we would now say the situation before, I don't know when the reactivation of ESC started, because we need to get that cut-off line. And then we say, before the reactivation, this was the situation. So trade in sugar cane or sugar, it was like this. Now as we talk, it is like this. Flights to Nairobi were costing $200. Now they are costing $50. So that we see the benefit. Otherwise, there's no way we can believe in you. So I want to really think the best thing is for you to tabulate, give us, but also you are not present in the community. I've never had a program by the ESC, whatever, your ministry. For instance, in my constituency or even region in Teso, that today you on the radio are talking about ESC and the opportunities which are there. I don't know how much it costs. I'm told there's airtime for RDCs, you can even use it free of charge. But I have not heard. So we are talking about things before we talk about the queries in these books. So, Madam Chair, yeah.
Yes, Honorable Mudimi.
Madam Chair, the instance of reviving the
the community was largely for free movement of people, goods, trade, and now yesterday we watched the news on TV where trucks were stranded in Nimule, over 1,000, because of restriction in the other side of South Sudan. So we need to know really, is it helping us to solve the purpose of the integration, or is just there, just a conduit for people to take up political position? Because if we just simple trucks are delivering goods to South Sudan, which they don't have, but they had blocked them. So really, we want to know the purpose of this. Is it helping, or is it just a conduit for people to take up?
Yes, Honorable Shabe.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, the accounting officer has really mentioned something, that the only work available is done by heads of states. And that implies that this ministry probably may not be relevant. And me, what I was asking was, I knew what the heads of states can do. And by the way, if it is the heads of states that are doing work, they could still as well do it when there is no ministry of East Africa. And for me, I said, this is a platform for you. I don't think you have many platforms where you can enumerate what you're able to achieve. And there might be many, and this was your chance to look through the East African Community Development Plan and say we were set out to achieve A, B, C, D, and we've achieved this. For example, when you talk about the customs union and the tariffs, the question is, what is it that is there for our taxpayers, especially those who do trade between Kenya, mainly Kenya, those who do trade between Uganda and Sudan, those who do trade between Uganda and Rwanda and Burundi. And those are the simple things that I really wanted you to enumerate, so that you know we are helping our taxpayers in achieving ABC. But when you talk about them generally, I really want to think that even when they give you the RDC's time, as my friend has suggested, you may not be able to convince us that probably we need this ministry.
Honorable Susan.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, indeed it is my first time to hear and also see the team from this ministry. Because as a Shadow Minister for Fisheries, we've been having so many issues on the lake. We've been having our fishermen have issues in regards to boundaries on water, especially those from Uganda and Kenya. We've been having so many conflicts. Security operatives from Kenya attacking our people on Lake Victoria from Uganda. But we've not been hearing your voice come out. And we've raised this concern severally. And also the other issue, we have an issue of importation of illegal fishing gears passing the neighboring countries, especially Kenya. And at the end, the local fishermen are the ones in trouble. But we've not heard your voice. So we want you to help us understand what exactly do you do? And when do you come in when we want you?
Procedure, Madam Chairperson.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. My name is Segumire Chibedi Mohammed, representing Michiano North County, a member of this committee. Madam Chairperson, I see we are discussing sessional committee issues, and yet we are.
Thank you. I've taken note. Let us submit. We are reacting to our communication. Yes, Honorable Susan. Honorable Susan, are you done? Madam Accounting Officer, honorable colleagues, when such people appear for such engagements, especially in her introductory remarks, it doesn't stop a member from raising a matter that follows under this person's docket. So we don't lose anything by listening to her. Please do respond. Honorable Rokwang.
Thank you, Chairperson, for the opportunity. I am happy to get the people in charge of East African community. And they say they are, but again they are limited because they say it is heads of state that do that work. However, in my place, for example, in northern Uganda in Karenga, we have border points as people move. And I thought the interest of the East African community is to enable the citizens in its jurisdiction to enjoy the freedom of unity, free movement, and whatever. But the case with me is that for people to move, they have to get permission from either the RDC to move. And when you come from, those ones who come, if you happen to go to Sudan and you come back, they will always want to ask you, why what? why are you coming, and what is it? Now, what is the ministry's role to ensure that the citizens of the East African community enjoy their freedom as envisaged in the what? In the protocol?
Yes, Honorable Isaac.
I think you will be the most unwelcome person. You know, he's a reader. So, but having said that one, as just by the way, colleagues, you may wish to look at the PS has given key performing highlights, which I think we have ignored. I think she made an overview. But when you look at her key performance highlights, there's things which have been done, have been captured. I think if you look at the key highlights on the the responses, they are very good key highlights, workshops, what have been done. Yeah, I think, to me, it's a comment that's positive. I think when you say that it's all negative, I think some work has been done. The only thing is that what mwananchi, the local person, muntu wa wansi, if you talk to him about East African community, he may not understand you. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you, honorable colleagues. And yes, honorable. So,
you have not, Madam Accounting Officer. For me, my interest is still on subscription because it came from you. What do we lose when you don't subscribe? And what are the benefits of subscription? Then, which are those areas of failure for subscription that are not necessary? Because you have to inform this committee that by failing to subscribe in this particular area, we lose this. When you don't subscribe with this we gain this. Because this subscription is not about subscription, but it's about being a member, attendance of such a forums, and what are the benefits. And the last one is you've talked about goods. I don't know whether East African community will take attention on the community. Some of our goods are not accepted in other countries, but in other countries bring the same goods to our country. I was coming from Rwanda recently. Hens come from Rwanda to Ntungamo, but hens cannot cross from Ntungamo to Rwanda. I'm giving a simple good. So where is the challenge? Do you take key attention to that area? And that's what those are the areas I want. But I want to give me clear explanation on the challenges of subscription.
Honorable Seungu.
Yes, Honorable.
Can I get you properly? Is it hens or chicken?
I looked at hens specifically because I never saw cocks. But let me say chicken. Since you want that, But I saw some even laying eggs as they were crossing with the goods. So, but I was trying to use that. Thank you, Honorable, for correcting that.
I thought there were no cocks, it only
So,
hens. The cocks can cross.
Yes, Madam Accounting Officer.
Chair, they're quite a mouthful, but I'll try to, because I know we also have to look at what brought us here specifically.
Let me, colleagues and this team other side. People at times get to think that accountability is about the money alone. Accountability is how we use office for the benefit of Ugandans. It's not accountability. So it's what we're asking that drives you to what is enlisted, and that's the reason as to why you are given the money. So actually what they are asking is what the common person looks out for. So you are accounting for why we have Miyaka. That is accountability for office. Go and objective 3 and you see what it takes accountability for all offices that we do occupy. So accountability will look at 2 aspects. Look at Article 169 of what you do in case you receive funds, but how you even use the office for the benefit of Ugandans. So what we are asking for from this side as representatives of the people is very important. So you submit. We have ample time to have this handled.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll ask my staff, each of my staff,
yes,
commissioners, to tell us the achievements, since we have a lot of time, achievements in each of the
no, for the achievements, Madam Accounting Officer, take there are issues that were raised that are direct on services that you do offer. For example, issues of trade, economic barriers, those you can respond. For the achievements, some of them were written in here, and as those will come as a result of your responses to what you've done economically, politically, and these others. So when you speak about the integration, some of these will come out, as achievements. So it doesn't mean that every commissioner will come out and tell us, this is what we've achieved here. But by responding to some of those questions, I mean, we shall get the answers on the achievements that you've had as a ministry.
Chair, the reason why I want the commissioners to talk about the achievement is because I've had a message that we can do without the ministry. There was that general feeling. The ministry does, the ministry is not doing anything. And that, to me, is the most critical thing that I have to justify here. Because when you say that it's not you, the heads of state are doing it, I'm saying that appointment of SG is done by the heads of state, but that doesn't mean that heads of state do everything. So that's why I wanted at least each of the commissioners, even if it gives us 1 or 2, it will help us to understand what the ministry stands for. And then in so doing, they talked about the breakdown of, was it the road or rail, where roofing is having a problem. So that, again, the commissioner, yes, in charge of infrastructure, and the one in charge of economic affairs could talk about that. And the other one is the issue of Commission on Economic Affairs, the exports, the delay of exports at the border with RSS, and the fishing gear, there are illegal fishing gears that end up here. So at least, can we have a commissioner?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, through the Permanent Secretary. My name is Leo Kizito Jara, Commissioner for Economic Affairs. Honorable Chair, I wish to respond to 2 issues, 3 maybe. The first one is the current situation at Nimule border, which borders Uganda and Republic of South Sudan. Honorable Chair, for the last couple of weeks, there was an introduction of a new tariff by Republic of South Sudan called an e-permit. So the e-permit has got different levels of taxes that were introduced by South Sudan. This was in November of 2025. Now, vehicles crossing, trucks crossing with goods from Uganda to South Sudan are expected to pay. However, it has been realized that the payment is excessive because you find one truck, one container is expected to pay $500 to $1,000 US. And this is in different ranges. Now, I want to introduce another topic in relation to this, which is the non-tariff barriers. We have been battling, and this is one of the major areas that our ministry is involved with under the Customs Union, and it is resolution of non-tariff barriers. We have what is called at the EAC level a time-bound program for reporting of non-tariff barriers, and these are reported to the EAC Secretariat. They are captured, they are discussed at the Sector Committee on Trade, the Sector Council on Trade, and they progress up to the Council of Ministers. This issue has been raised. Next week there is a Council of Ministers meeting which is going to take place. And this is one of the issues which actually has got to be discussed. Honorable Chair, there is a big problem at the border, and you realize that even supplies of products to Juba are in shortage. Currently, a kilo of sugar is going for between 10 to 15,000 shillings because all the trucks are stuck on the border. And there's been extensive communication, Honorable Chair, between the EAC Secretariat, the Ministry of EAC. Our PS has written severally to these people. Uganda Revenue Authority is aware about what is happening, but it is the mandate of Republic of South Sudan to lift those tariffs or reduce the tariffs. So we are in a situation where currently trucks are stranded at the border, and there is a discussion going back and forth. And that is why even yesterday this appeared on the news. Honorable Chair, the second item I want to talk about is the introduction of the common external tariff. This tariff was introduced in the EAC to harmonize the price at which products enter the community to be the same. It was agreed, and we have 4 bands of the tariff. This is real protectionism, such that we don't have flooding into our market. 0% for raw materials. So any raw materials that are moving amongst ourselves should move at 0, as long as we are able to identify the origin, the actual origin. If it is from Uganda and it is wholly produced, a Ugandan produced product, this should move at 0 and there should be no tax. 10% for intermediate goods, 25% for finished products, and we have what we call the sensitive list. And these are the products that we produce and they support our economies. Uganda, we have sugar, we have rice, we have metals, steel. The products that give our economy money, we have to protect. And therefore, anything above, we charge anything, importation, anything above 35%. It can even go up to 80%. So this common external tariff was discussed at the EAC level. And the Ministry of EAC played a very pivotal role in the introduction of the common external tariff in the East African community. This was signed off by the Ministers of Finance in 2023, and we are seeing that it is helping our economies. The only challenge goes back to the same thing of the non-tariff barriers. I think I will stop here for now, Honorable Chair.
As you stop there for now, the whole issue is about visibility. Now, you are speaking about a very important matter. Some trucks are stuck on the border, but you are aware that there are those that might be packing items to go to the border. So how do, in such circumstances, how do we communicate? Say that, you know, people we can help people not to make losses. So for me, I think what you have to do, Madam PS, is amplify on the, you know, visibility in the field. How do you ensure that people feel your services? For example, we have the Parliament of Uganda. How often do we find a communication from EAC in our pigeonholes? Because once you give us information, we shall automatically deliver to the people. So yes, you can go on radio, you can use your media pages to do those, but also use other platforms available. Reach out to leaders. The beauty with what you are doing. We also have people who take goods to South Sudan from our areas. So when you give that information, as I go to the people, I will tell them, say that we are seen to serve the community. So I really request that we improve on the way we communicate, because you are there to serve us. So this looks as if, you know, the reason as the colleague, even one of the colleagues said, I'm seeing you for the first time, they will have heard what miaka, you know, but at least we are feeling you by the services. So, Madam, let us improve on how we communicate on visibility on the services that we do offer.
Chair, just a clarification
Yes,
from him, because that's a very important, Commissioner. The matter you're raising, issue was raised, is very important. Now, if the trucks are stuck by the border, my worry is about businessmen who are transporting perishable goods. That's why we need you to be acting faster, because we don't want a situation where all this now end up getting either rotten if you're taking matoke, they'll all end up getting ripe. So many, and a lot of matoke, especially from Bugisu, I see a lot of trucks, tomatoes heading that side, onions. So those who are carrying fish. So I think it needs to be handled with urgency to the south. So that's my concern. Yeah.
And for now, what's the solution? What the fact that they are stuck for you as a ministry? How do you advise them?
From his
they forced to reach out to South Sudan, say, please,
escalate
it to the highest level, the level
Madam
of the
Chair,
heads of states.
From his response, he already indicated
Yes,
that
Honorable Silas.
yes, there's something they are doing. But for me, my worry is, much as this is a matter which is more of economic, in my view, we need a political solution. So how quickly can you involve the head of state in this matter? Because he should talk to his counterpart across the border. For me, I think that is the quickest solution. But these other ones of ours, yes, we can do the right thing, but even one single call from one person to another person can change the situation. So I don't know what you can do, because you need to save the situation. Because soon, people will come and ask the parliament for a supplementary here to compensate people who lost because the trucks were stuck in the border.
That's where we are going.
Yet we have not cleared the old bills.
Yes, Honorable.
I think that is what exactly I was going to say. The supplies that were made to Southern Sudan up to now have still been disturbing us in the corridors here. Now, here we are. We are trying to create employment for our people, others through trade, as among others. How can we help the government of our neighbors segregate between the perishables and the dry cargo, such that if they are still disagreeing on some parameters, let the perishables enter. You can imagine what the impact it is going to have with our people. The farmers have supplied, the traders here have also mobilized here, boys have put something and have gone. Then everything just rots when we are seeing, you can see the repercussion. We want to avoid demonstrations that are time and again hitting us downtown here by getting people doing work. So in whatever you're doing, I agree with what Honorable Cyrus has said. There is where we can do the let and it goes. But if this attracted the attention of the chief executive, who will also get in touch with this chief executive their side, some solutions come faster, as now the protocols take course. Otherwise, it is not the first time. It is actually a routine affair. Every day in 1 week, the next week, the border is closed. 1 week, the next week, the border is closed. Our people are losing.
So that in that way, the integration loses meaning. You are the ones who tell you are tightening. So which kind? Are you just widening it, tightening it? What exactly are you doing? So, Honorable Grania.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. It has been well elaborated by the Commissioner that there are charges from 0, 10, 25 on the various categories of products that move across borders. However, Madam Chair, putting that aside, we appreciate that you're doing so much to ensure that trade across countries within the East African community is very smooth and effective for our people. But as they do trade, there should also be security. In the middle of last year, someone called me all the way from Mobende, a brother to a person who was doing business in South Sudan, and this boy was shot, he was bleeding, but it was very hard to trust that there is a Ministry of East African Community that could be of use to them in order to rescue the boy. And it took us so long to ensure that we rescue this young man who had gone to do business. So we have a lot of trust in you engaging the other counterpart community countries to ensure that we can do all this that we have on paper smoothly, but realize little is being done practically besides what we have on paper. So we appreciate all these policies that you put on paper and these agreements, but we want to see it being done and being useful to our people. So Honorable Silas was saying it would be very productive, or it would yield a fruit if the chief executives communicated. But we shall not again see how useful you people are if we only have to rely on the president to make decisions. So we beg that you do whatever it takes for us to see this happen. I appreciate you're doing something because, Honorable Chair, as I conclude, there is a time as we went to Nairobi as a committee on agriculture, and the meeting we were going for involved some East African countries, but some of them did not appear. Now, if we make resolutions and commitments in such a meeting and others have not attended, it will not be useful to some of those other countries. So we want that what we agree on, what we put on paper, is actually agreed upon for all the countries. We shall not have this East African community in bits, otherwise it will not be useful. I thank you.
Honorable Saungu.
Just one word. You see, you have two ministers, and thank God, if the chair had not allowed us to fight happening. Major role as East African community and the ministry. If you don't work on elimination of unnecessary non-tariff barriers, your role in the community is almost redundant. Because those are the areas where you must give key attention. The moment they are not eliminated and there are those kind of challenges, the community cannot move ahead. I would pray for you, not about the president, but the summit and the use of ministers, plus your other committee where you appear, unlike this one, which is an accountability committee, to steer this challenge. Otherwise, in cooperation, without elimination of non-unnecessary tariff barriers, because you cannot run a community where you're not trading, because you want business. You want easiness of exchange of goods, clearance of goods at borders. Of course, I can tell you, Madam Chair, when it comes to citizens crossing, Kenya, Rwanda, Tanzania, people are moving very freely. But when it comes to goods, it's you to work around the clock. Because now this is information that is coming from an accountability committee, and it might be the lead story of today. But
Honorable
what
Kavusi.
is your role on fighting to eliminate those unnecessary non-tariff barriers? Even in schools where we are teaching from primary, the aims of South African community, one of them is that, fighting non-tariff barriers.
Thank you, Honorable Kavusu.
Madam Chairperson, thank you.
That is the last question.
Madam Chairperson, as we are proceeding, a voter from Karangala has told me that I take benefit of this committee meeting to ask this simple question. Yes, UBC is broadcasting live. Madam Chairperson, there is a type, a species of fish called Synodontis victoriae in Korongo. Synodontis originates from rivers and river banks in Kenya. Madam Chairperson, we have been told, and the fishermen on Lake Victoria in my constituency, Kalangala, know that the Kenyans have blocked the rivers where synodontists used to breed from and supply to Lake Victoria. This is an issue not of security, not of defense, not of fisheries, but East African community. We want the ministry to intervene. Kenyans should unblock these rivers and let Nkorongo swim back to Lake Victoria. Our women have been surviving on smoking, synodontists, Victoria, Nkorongo, and without the intervention of the ministry, our women are rendered jobless. We need the Nkorongo back. The Nkorongo are in the Kenyan rivers and should swim back. They have been blocked. Thank you, Madam Chairperson.
Thank you. Yes, yes.
Okay. Production and infrastructure.
Honorable colleagues, let's listen to the answers. Commissioner Production, please.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chairperson. I wish to quickly highlight some of the achievements, and then I will end with tackling the challenges. In the course of the last financial year, together with the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, we negotiated and constructed the Chikagati hydropower project. And this is complete to date and delivers 14 megawatts of energy. And this power is shared between Uganda and the Republic of Tanzania. We have commenced negotiations for construction of Msongezi hydroelectric power dam, and this is meant to deliver 39 megawatts of power to be shared between Uganda, the United Republic of Tanzania, and the Republic of Rwanda. Again, under the East Africa Power Pool project, the Republic of Uganda has constructed and completed the international power interconnectors in Mbarara and in Tororo to enable Uganda to export power to Kenya and the Republic of Rwanda. We continue to implement the East Africa single tourist visa, which is an arrangement that allows the embassies of the three countries, Uganda, Kenya, and Rwanda, each of them to issue a tourist visa that allows somebody to enter. If someone starts with Uganda, they can go to Rwanda and proceed to Kenya without any additional payment. This visa costs $100, and any issuing partner state is entitled to $40. Then the other two partner states are entitled to $30 each, making it $100. This is meant to promote tourism, and I can confirm that this arrangement has improved the tourism sector by way of making it cheaper for tourists to visit the three countries. We implemented a project, the multinational Lake Victoria Maritime Communications and Transport Project. Honourable members of Parliament, under this project, Uganda has constructed a number of search and rescue centers meant to respond to the outcry of the Ugandans on Lake Victoria and Lake Choga. Now, to that extent, Entebbe Search and Rescue Center has been constructed and is now complete. Another center was constructed at Kazi, together with a fish drying rack, to allow particularly women to be able to dry their fish more efficiently and at no extra cost. Another search and rescue center was constructed at Panyimur. This is on Lake Albert. Another was constructed at Kaiso, and this one also has a fish drying rack. And we have another search and rescue center constructed and complete at Zengebe on Lake Choga. We also purchased an ambulance boat
to make it faster to search and rescue people who are in distress on Lake Victoria. Madam Chairperson, we are designing a project. It's called the High Investment Project to be financed by the European Union. And this is now at the feasibility and detailed design stage, but it is meant to be constructed in the area of Rosira to deal with pollution of Lake Victoria. Now, I think I should add that we have been asking, what do we benefit by being in the community? This is a project costing about 15 million euros, and this is a grant to the country. So I think by working together as a region, we have this bigger bargaining power. We have a grant of over 35 million euros meant to improve on the waters of Lake Victoria. So this money is being invested in Kenya, in Uganda, and in Tanzania, but around Lake Victoria, meant to deal with pollution.
Okay. I think that's okay. We can have social affairs quickly.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairperson. Social affairs, I'll begin with the topical issue these days. We are trying to promote Swahili in the country as a ministry, and we began with
procedure, Chair.
Yes.
Now that he is talking about Swahili promoter, can he address us in, wouldn't it be procedurally right for him to address us in Swahili so that we know what he's promoting? Wouldn't it be procedure okay? Honorable Chairperson.
How many of you understand Swahili? So then Swahili is going to become a barrier.
Unless Honorable Basariwa decides to translate.
No, you can proceed in English.
What he's saying.
Nafahamu Swahili vizuri. Wacha aongee. Nitafanya translation.
Madam Chair, what he's saying, if the members of parliament are not being sensitized, then whom are you sensitizing? Really? We don't have any booklets at all for Swahili even here in the parliament.
At least for 2 minutes, at least say something, and we know what you are promoting. What you are promoting, you really and even that one would have sufficed.
Honorable Chair, I'll have let me finish my submission, kindly, and then I'll engage in Swahili for those who are fluent enough. Chair, like I was submitting, Chair, is that as a ministry, at the forefront of promoting Swahili use in the country.
Let's allow him proceed, please.
In the country, and but we began with the top leadership of the country. Every day, every Tuesday, Cabinet Day, we have lessons for every Monday. Cabinet Day, we have Swahili lessons for Cabinet members from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And and we are continuing the capacity building. Chair, we've also rolled out in the various ministries, departments, and agencies to promote the use of the language, and including our own ministry staff. Chair, there's been a lot of advocacy on this by the Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister, and probably we are now seeing the seeds that we have sown, because I understand recently we wanted to, the Ministry of Education wants to add Swahili as an examinable subject right from primary, an additional subject, Swahili, and Swahili is one of them, and CRE, that's to be 6 subjects. So this advocacy is going on. Of course, we are also coordinating the establishment of the National Kiswahili Council. We are at very advanced stages, and we only need to agree with who will be the host of this institution, which is which is a council decision by the minister, to establish national Kiswahili councils in all partner states. So we are at it, and we are requesting for more resources to promote it, together with the Ministry of Gender and Education. And indeed, the calls are being heard. The Committee on ESA Affairs has really been at the forefront and likely to get more resources to promote Swahili. We wanted to establish a parliamentary forum for Kiswahili, at least a desk. We are at the forefront. I know that there is a Kiswahili forum, parliamentary forum in the ministry, in the parliament, and we are looking forward to engaging. Chair, now that you have talked about parliament, in the 9th parliament, your minister was organizing lectures for MPs, twice, 8th, and it was in the library there. I don't know what happened. Why did you stop?
Funding,
Used to also, even the conference here, we used to have.
Yeah. We already have a forum here responsible for ESC. For me, I would not see the need of having another forum. There's already a forum here for ESC.
Thank you for your guidance.
Take advantage of that.
Thank you for your guidance, honorable members. We've written to the clerk to Parliament to this effect, and we are following up on the matter.
Can we have a political affairs?
Thank you, Chair.
We'll finish. Political affairs, well.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. Honorable Chair and members, my name is Andrew Musime. I'm the Commissioner Political Affairs. In our cooperation under the Political Affairs, I will highlight a few issues but also respond to one question. But one, as the ESC, we have been able to negotiate and conclude the ESC Mutual Defense Pact, which is basically intended to make us cooperate as ESC countries in some of the areas of defense or security issues that we require. As a region and a ministry, we have also put in place what we call the ESC early warning system. The early warning system is designed to detect or beforehand a number of situations that might affect our countries, and each country is designated to have the early warning center. Our early warning center in Uganda is being handled by internal security. As a region, we have also agreed to cooperate in a number of areas of defense. We do what we call the Ushirikiano Imara. Ushirikiano Imara is where annual